What's good, people? This is the Rap Roundtable. Your boy Jaw here, Sincere Rap Snob, Dini the Balance, the homie Mace. We just want to make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, help us get our numbers up. We're trying to get 2,000 subs, 5,000. Y'all know how this go. If y'all think we're good and y'all love the content, some of y'all always say, yo, how come y'all don't have more views? It's because y'all don't sub. So make sure y'all do that and tap in with us. Peace.
The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir. Episode 47 of the Rap Roundtable is here. We are back in our favorite place, the Staples Center, not the Crypto Arena, but the Staples Center, Madison Square, maybe not the Barclays, but wherever it's lit, the MGM Grand.
We in the arena.
We are
Home
in
game,
the arena.
sir.
The podcasters are in the arena. I'm fucking excited to be here, if you can't already tell. It's your boy Jav here alongside Sincere the Rap Snob, alongside Dini the Balance, alongside the homie Mace. And of course, you can find the Rap Roundtable, pardon me, on Apple Podcast. I was about to say Rappleson. on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
so good.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and now Cash App. If you haven't been paying attention, we are now on Cash App. So all donations to us at the Rap Roundtable will be appreciated. Shout out to the donators who have already shared with us. We appreciate y'all 110%. But everything that y'all throw our way will go into the podcast. We're trying to get the merch going. We're trying to get this podcast energy in the spot. Even more episodes in the studio. And these things cost bread. So anything you can throw our way, we appreciate it. And as always,
we are tonight's entertainment.
Fellas.
Yes, sir.
It's been a lot going on.
It's heavy.
I would say we've covered it, right? But this particular...
And done a good job at it.
Done a hell of a job.
Sir.
You know, if you ever been tapping in... Oh, yeah, Sin. Thank you, Sin. Since the last time I think we were in this studio, we've gained even more subscribers. I think close to 300 more subscribers on YouTube. Shout out to y'all. So people are fucking with us.
We've grown.
We've done a great job of covering this stuff.
Almost 250,000 views, too.
Bro,
yeah, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Giving y'all what y'all want out there.
Give the people what they want. But this Kendrick topic, it's not going away.
It's not dying yet?
It's not dying.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
The Kendrick stimulus is still stimulating, right? People are calling it names. People are saying it's great.
It's a lot of chatter for a flop.
A lot of chatter for a flop.
Quote unquote.
Hey, listen. There's levels to flops too. Be clear.
Oh, boy.
There's levels to flops.
There's levels to flops.
Yeah.
No, man.
Yeah.
It's either a flop or not a flop. Like, that's an absolute
flopulous.
Nah, man.
Hey, but look. We have never rated this album, y'all. We've argued about it. We've debated about it.
Yeah, that's true.
We called each other names on the pod even. But we have not rated the album. Sin, would you like to go first or go last with the rating of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers?
You know what? I think I've reserved the right to go last on this one.
Say less.
Interesting.
The homie Mace, tap in, bro. Out of 5, we going out of 5 or out of 10? Sin, you pick.
Out of 5.
I was thinking out of 5.
5.
I was thinking out of 5.
Bet. So the homie Mace, set the tone for us, brother.
Check this out. When they dropped this in the chat, I went back and forth with this one. Like, way more than I usually do. Usually, we put out a topic, it's easy, you know what I mean? I just, express my thoughts.
Let
you
the
know
pen
what I mean?
flow.
Yeah, you know how it go. Or with the hand that don't write.
Good.
But with this one here, I said, damn, I don't... I go back and forth with this because we graded it on a scale of 5. I don't want to overrate this album. If you want to be honest, I feel like I liked it more when it first dropped. To be honest with you, I don't want to underrate it. When I think about Kendrick's catalog and what I've rated those albums, I'm going with a 3.75 for Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
3.75.
That's how I'm feeling.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
That's quite generous.
you think so?
Yeah, it's quite generous.
Well, Dini, if you feel that way, the floor is yours.
Hold on. I got a bone to pick with me.
Oh, my
Hold
God.
on. No.
I love it. Get him.
No, because the last time we did a video, he said he was feeling it more than the first time it was growing on him, and it keeps getting better with each listen. Now it got worse?
Now it got worse.
What happened?
Now it got worse.
We can't make this shit up.
This is how.
Wow.
This is just. It's
Let's
really,
take it back to the videotape.
I've completely flipped on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I love this album. At this point, it's in the running of album of the year for me.
But I'm sorry, Sin. I hate to leave you on the island by yourself. You know what I'm saying? About this album. You know, we was the tag team before. You know what I mean? We was the Hardy Boys out here.
But what happened?
He listened some more.
Yeah, I just the longer I listen to the album, the more I'm like, oh,
NRV,
man, this is a little bit of a chore.
NRV.
You know what I mean? What's NRV? What's that?
No replay value, my guy.
Wow.
I'm coming in hot.
You want to expand on that?
3.4.
3.4.
I'm coming in hot. Shout out to him for adding the Heart Part 5 onto the shit. At that actually,
we gonna get there.
That broke the tie for me. I had it at 9 and 9. I mean, I had it at actually 10 but now I have it at 11 and 9.
But time out. How can I wait? Time out.
10 and it's 18 songs.
It's
9 and
19
9
tracks.
With the
so
additional
10 and 9.
With the new one is 10 and 9.
All right, so 19 out of the 19.
You said 11 and 9.
I got 11. I got 11 out of the 9. 11 I like. 9 I don't like basically.
Bro, but that's 20,
bro.
No, it was originally 9 and 9.
So you like 10 and don't like 9?
Yeah, 10 and 9. My fault. The Migos kicking in early. 10 and 9, which does put it above mid in the sense of mid. But like I said, it starts off with 3 songs that don't initially have replay value.
Right.
The 4th song kicks in, brings you in. And I'm saying I got the checklist too to show you which ones I like, which ones I don't like. But we don't have to get into that right now because I really want to hear your opinion. But yeah, the replay value is kind of limited. You got to do a lot of maneuvering through the album.
That's the problem. That's great.
So let me ask you this, Dini. What you're saying is, although based on your score, this is a flat out 3 out of 5. It's average.
I got it at 3.4, man.
So that means that the 10 you do like, they're high tier. Like
I really like them.
It bumps the scale up a little bit.
I really like them.
Got it.
But I said that on the last joint, even on the joint where you said you was digging it.
Yeah.
I said the ones I dig. Nah, it's not. You're allowed to change your mind, bro. The facts will set you free. You're allowed to change your mind with the facts. It don't have the rideability pause through the whole album. You gotta it's really, if you chop out the songs you like and make a little album out of that. If I take my 11 and make that an album, we might be talking the big C word. You know what I'm saying?
You're right about that, man.
But you can't negate the salad without adding this shit. If you don't like mushrooms and this shit is in there, that gotta affect the salad.
Why you not talking to Sid, Dini?
I don't want to hear from this man right now.
Talk to me, good brother.
I'm going last. Jarv, go ahead.
Well, for
I'm
me,
ready.
You know, I think I've been pretty steadfast on how I feel about this album. There's certain critical aspects of it that I really enjoy. I don't think that, for the most part, based on my experience, I know some people commented and they said, yo, well, I'm a certain age and I like the album. Based on my experience, the people that I know who are about 44, 45, 46, they don't like the album. There's certain things about the music, and I've been saying that since this album dropped, that I take issue with. I feel like in this climate, I don't think what Kendrick delivered to us, we didn't need that anymore. Like I think we spoke about it on one of the vlogs we did where it was like the space would have appreciated this album 3 years ago.
The flurry,
but the rapping has gotten so high caliber again that this level of album doesn't stand out as much because there's so much great rap. But last time he dropped an album like this, To Pimp a Butterfly, we had Lil Pump running around getting major spins. Motherfucking Facts. 21 before 21 got better. Because I like 21 now, but when 21 first dropped, it was tough. Lil Yachty. He had a lot of guys who we did not give a fuck about.
SoundCloud era, yo.
Yo, it was nasty.
A
lot of niggas with colorful dreads and face tattoos doing bad out here. To me now, the rapping has improved. I'm not saying it's a golden era yet, but the scale has increased. And an album like this don't hit the same musically because you don't have the ability to lean on the fact that there's so much bullshit out there anymore. So you could say there's a message, and there is some high-level messaging, some uncomfortable messaging, but song by song by song by song, because again, it's not a podcast. I said this last week. It's not a podcast. It's a rap album, and the music for me is not there, but the messaging and the rap ability, because this word salad shit you niggas is throwing around is hot garbage. Kendrick can rap his fucking ass off. I can say all of these things and still compliment him.
Right.
But with all of that said, to me, because of this high caliber rap, high caliber messaging, I won't give it a 3. but I don't think it's a 4 either. So I'm gonna go 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a solid album. If the scale was on 10, I'd give it a 7. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I feel. Like, if the songs were better, if we had more We Cry Together type sounding beats, so a little more boom bappery in there, I would have fucked with this more. But Sinner's already shaking his head. He disagrees. So Sincere the Rap Snob, the floor is yours.
Listen, y'all gonna be mad at me.
Oh my God.
At this table, y'all gonna be mad at me out there. A lot of y'all. I really don't give a fuck. I'm gonna speak my truth. I'll start with this. When I think about classic albums, albums that I feel are classic.
Don't throw the big C word in there,
albums
bro.
that I feel are classic.
Classic?
When I think of classic albums, I think of albums that are more than the sum of its parts. Right? For me, I mean, y'all talked about how y'all feel about certain songs. Y'all skip songs. I don't skip a song on this album.
Okay.
I press play from the beginning. I let it run. The intro's fire to me. The N95 is fire to me. Worldwide Steppers is fire to me. Die Hard is fire to me. Right? Father Time, dope ass song. I might not like every song on the same level, but there's no songs that I hate. There's no songs that I don't that I don't like. There's no skips for me. I let it ride from beginning to end. It's like, to me, it's a journey. Like, Kendrick is taking me on a ride through like everything that he's going to, and I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Like, when I think about like the level of lyricism, the mixing, the production, the subject matter, the sequencing, the execution of it all, the attention to detail of it all. I can't. It's a 5 to me.
What?
5.
It's a 5.
The fuck are you talking about?
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. It's a classic.
The fuck are you talking about?
The end.
Worldwide Steppers.
Get rid of this guy.
Like, yo, what are you talking about?
I've listened to it,
bro.
And it's not even like the honeymoon period for me. I guess is like the first week. We're on the like what?
That
week
was it
3?
for me.
2 weeks.
That
2
was it
weeks.
for me.
Week 3?
The honeymoon period was the
It was the
first week.
13th.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 weeks today.
I just bumped it again between yesterday and today. I don't see a problem with this album, yo. I don't.
Sincere is the nigga that everyone has been real disgusted with during this period when it comes to not being able to be even remotely objective about
How am I
Kendrick
not being
Lamar.
objective?
You're not.
We've spent all of this time on this podcast, right? What the first?
I was waiting for me not to like a song, for me to want to skip a song.
You bumped the
It
whole
doesn't
Kodak
happen.
interlude too?
Yes.
All right.
Wow, for
Whole
Sin, that's
thing.
a big deal.
Fellas not named Sincere. We spent the first quarter of 2022 preaching objectivity to our listeners.
Yes.
Only for fucking this guy Sincere, this turncoat, to come in here with the biggest cape I've ever seen.
It's not a cape.
His Kendrick cape is
It's
bigger
not a
than my
cape.
whole
It
cape.
is.
It's not
For
a
you to
cape.
sit here and get a shit.
Nah,
a
y'all gotta
5,
chill out. Honestly, y'all gotta chill
nah,
out
I
with
don't gotta
that.
chill and do
Sonic,
shit.
Y'all gotta
Sonic
chill out.
ability.
Bro, your boy-
Because
bro.
if I'm telling you,
Uh-huh.
I left the album alone for a week and I
Right.
came back to it and I still feel the same way about it. Maybe next week, maybe next month, I might feel different. Right? Maybe a year from now. I don't think I will though.
Nah, bro. This is
So
like
Sin,
this is
are
like
you-
Sin, look, we're not saying that you can't feel that way.
Right.
We're saying that it's wrong, motherfucker. It's not 5.
not wrong.
Sin.
This is like dealing with a girl.
Listen,
have
there's
you-
a lot. Listen,
Anybody's criticism
the whole
valid to you?
first week, huh?
Are anybody's criticisms of the album valid to you?
That's fine. That's how y'all feel.
Or you just disagree? Like, that's what I'm saying. Do you?
I disagree.
All right, guys.
I disagree. There's a lot of albums that I give a 5. Most Def Black on Both Sides is a 5.
That's a way better album than this.
Like, what are we doing here?
This shit is
like, what are we doing here?
You know how
bro?
like you dealing with a toxic girl and y'all break up and y'all deal with each other again and you're like, yo, I know this is toxic, but I just
do
haven't
not
had it in
find-
so long.
I don't.
That's what I
find a
feel like
problem
you're
with this
going through
album.
right now.
And if it was a Kendrick cape, then I would have given
All this shit this nigga-
I would give all his albums a 5. I would give Damn a 5. Damn's not a 5 to me. Damn is
Damn
like a 4.
better than this shit.
Nah, Damn is a 4. A strong 4.
And this is a 3.5, 3.4,
You hear this nigga,
3.75.
Wow.
It's not a 5, bro. Like,
And Section Section 80 is like a 3.5.
You're bugging.
At this point, for the credibility of the Rap Roundtable, don't listen to Sincere when it comes to this album because
or
he's
Kendrick
not to
Lamar,
be trusted.
period,
We gotta
man.
call it what it is.
What were they calling the album online, Denny?
Mr. Mid and the Mid Steppers.
Oh man!
Brutal.
Wow,
Mr. Mid.
That's crazy.
And the thing is, here's the thing. You know, I hate to keep arguing about this album, but Sincere upsets me. You know, he goes on these fucking diatribes about how not smart people are, right? But at a certain point, the masses have to matter. If you go,
No, they don't. They really don't.
But it does. It does. All right. You can respond in a second.
They really don't.
That takes part of a classic.
There are certain people who are indeed stupid. Okay, listen. I deal with stupid people every day. I understand, but at a certain point, when you put a piece of work out there, and 65% of the audience is like, I don't know about this.
Mid.
You know what I'm saying? We talked about it.
Oh no, man.
We talked about it when we debated if it was a flop, right? And people got at myself and Mace about us talking about streaming numbers.
Right.
And it's like, the thing is, they say, I hate to talk sales, I hate to talk sales. In the streaming era, it's a little bit different than talking about sales because at the end of the day, I have to take my phone and choose to listen to this song or this album repeatedly.
Over and over.
It's not like I could go, and my label could go, and don't get me wrong, people can buy streams. But a Kendrick level artist, it's not a 6ix9ine. You don't gotta buy shit.
Exactly.
People gonna rush that. Don't get me wrong, they did rush that. But after 5 years, what was it called again? NP what? NRP what?
NRV, man.
Know what?
Replay value.
That's a problem. It's such a problem, right?
To y'all.
No.
To a lot of
This shit
people,
got-
bro.
this shit got plenty of
Hold
replay
on.
value to me, bro.
Look at
Like-
him jumping in with the cape again. It's not a problem to us. You know who it's a problem to? Deanie, because you was about to talk about this a second ago. It is a problem to TD fucking E. Why? Somehow or the other, the Heart Part 5 ends up on this album because the numbers are not doing. We all know how these numbers
that's-
work.
Mind you,
Now it's a numbers game. Go ahead, Deanie, you can cook, bro.
mind you, none of them hearts on no other album,
None,
bro.
Right.
But the
And that's
song
the first problem.
he
That's the
broke a
first problem
rule
I
for
have.
this shit.
Yeah, that's the first
Yeah.
problem I have with this album. That was a bad
problem
move. That was
you
stupid.
had, but it speaks to what everyone else has been saying about this fucking album, bro. It doesn't have replay value.
The album-
and to boost the stream. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mason. I'm talking
The
too much.
album just wears on you after a while.
It's-
You know what I
it's
mean?
very strenuous.
And it's almost like I appreciated the novelty of records like Auntie's Diary and We Cry Together. I was appreciating Kendrick's boldness for tackling things like this. You know what I mean?
Hands down, don't get it
but I
twisted.
cannot listen to these shits over and over, son. Like I really can't. It's like Eminem's Kim. Like I cannot listen
Like
to that over
running
and
that
over.
back
And once I
over,
listen to
yeah.
it once, I'm like, oh wow, this is intense. This is
Yeah.
crazy. Then once it come through in the shuffle, I'm like, turn this shit off.
Hold up.
It's a vibe killer.
Hold
Yeah.
on, hold on.
Intense
hold
is a
on,
great word.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. Let me get this straight.
Go ahead.
So him talking about
Here you go.
his
Don't
family
do this,
history with homosexuality or transgenderism is the same as Eminem's song about killing his wife.
We're not
that's
doing
not
that,
what he
bro.
said.
We
That's,
Cry Together.
that's
not
how
what
y'all.
he-
That's how y'all. That's
acting
where.
like-
That's where you go with it.
Sin
Wow.
is Fox Newsing me right
Yeah.
now. I'm
No,
talking about
that's
We
where you
Cry
go.
Together.
Wow, bro.
We'll do it live.
Right.
That's where you go with it.
So
Fucking
Kendrick, what
calls to
Kendrick
me
got to
right
say
now.
about this?
Wow.
Wow.
I'm just saying it's a weird comparison.
I mean, We Cry Together in the dysfunctional relationship term. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, Sin, it's like, it's jarring at first. It's like, it takes
to
you
the
by
system.
surprise, right? And even after I listened to it for a little while, I was like, man, like, there's nobody else is tackling this. You know what I mean? I appreciated that.
Ballsy.
But it's like, you know, I can't listen to it over and over.
Like
Sin,
I already,
it's
like I
not
already
good
addressed
music.
people. I already addressed people that were comparing "We Cry Together" to Kim. Like that's just like
You know what you
But
doing,
he's,
Sin?
not, but he's not doing
That's-
that.
You know what Sin's doing?
he just
Sin?
did it right now.
But he's
Sin-
not doing that.
Sin's telling you all the shit that's good with the car mode, power steering, brakes, da-da-da. You should do everything. But you don't. Where are we going?
But
in
he
this
ain't
shit,
telling
Mo?
you
don't
that
tell
it
us that the
leaks
car don't
steering
drive
fluid,
good though.
the
my
AC
nigga.
don't fucking
It don't
work.
ride well.
This-
Pause.
That the
I
police
don't
stop you
like
when you
where-
got them
You gotta get the
dark-ass
axle
tints.
fixed.
Oh, it's That's the main part of the cost to go somewhere. The album don't take you somewhere.
This album don't need
no
rideability
because the axle's fucked up.
Why do we need rideability though? Hold on.
That's a part of being a classic.
No, it's not.
When I say rideability, it doesn't have to be vibey. I'm talking about I can just listen to the records over and over again. That shit does not do that, bro.
This is my problem with y'all, right?
You're the problem, bro. It's you, bro.
Nah, it's y'all.
Not us.
It's not
you.
me.
You
did.
y'all.
Yo, bro.
And the public.
Get your shit off, Sam. Get your shit off.
So, two of my favorite films of all time.
Oh, here, now we go to films.
Let's go, son.
You're making this look even worse. You reaching for so many straws to make this album valid. It's not valid.
So Dini can compare to movies and I can't?
No, you can't.
I'm gonna do that shit real quick. You gonna give us a journey.
And I be getting at Dini when he do that shit too. What you talking about?
No, you didn't. Not when we was talking about the Rico shit.
So that one time. But what about all the other times, bro?
Nah, bro. You let him get off on the Rico shit. So I'm gonna get my shit off.
Get your shit off.
We here for it, Sin. We here for it.
Thank you. Two of my favorite films of all time: 2001: A Space Odyssey, right? And Friday. Friday is the movie that like in music terms, y'all would call it rideability. Yeah, you would call it like that's the joint you could just throw on, bump whenever at the cookout, when you're driving.
Rideability is entertaining, but proceed.
When you're outside, yeah.
Entertaining is a part of a classic album.
All right, 2001: A Space Odyssey is an immaculate masterpiece of a film.
I'm sure.
If it was music, I would not call that rideable. I wouldn't call it a rideable piece of work. It's a deep film. You have to be in the mood for it, right? But that doesn't take away from its brilliance. The brilliance is still there. Just because you don't feel like
we're not knocking its brilliance though.
Just because you don't feel like consuming it at all times, every time you want to throw on some music, that does not take away from the brilliance of the work. The brilliance of the work is there. It just means that you don't want to tap in as often as some other shit that's more accessible to you, or that's more palatable to you, or that strokes your sensibilities more. Pause.
Okay, you got more to say?
I'm done.
You said all of that, right? But again, bro, if you put out a piece of work, we are a corporation.
Right.
We Sincere keeps trying to minimalize what the fuck is going on here, and I'm not gonna let him do it. 5-year layoff, right? I don't even kill him for that as much as Dini did, but it is what it is. It's part of the build up to the album, right? People are anticipating something. When you left, one could say you were the biggest rap act in the world when you left. You come back, the album underperforms.
Greatly.
So cool, you're gonna keep saying so what? I'm gonna finish though. At the end of the day, if TDE Incorporated has the biggest rap act in the world and the general public say, you know what, we do not want this, no matter how much you can pull out whatever fucking comparison, Space Odysseys to Fridays to Wednesdays, I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, he put this album out to reach a specific audience and it did not land. Just because you think it's a classic and the hardcore Kendrick fans think it's a classic or think it's really good, because not all of them are saying it's a 5, doesn't make it the case. It's so rough that, again, TDE had to break what they usually do, and Kendrick had to sign off on it to put the Heart Part 5 there. Like that is the ultimate checkmate. It's not even us talking anymore. The label told us what the fuck we was talking about last week when we said it was a flop. Because people are not rushing this album because they're not fucking with it, bro. It don't matter what you say, B. It's been decided by the public. It doesn't matter. That's it, bro. You got a whole lot.
It's a lot of things that's decided by the public that's not right.
Hey.
And that's trash.
In this rap space, this shit ain't it.
All right, so we just signed with the numbers then. We're just gonna let the numbers dictate.
No,
according to
John, don't even touch me.
All right, cool.
Because at the end of the day, the problem is, the problem is, I know I got it. I'ma still finish though. The problem with Jose, because now he's Jose, is that
stupid.
He likes to pick and choose when to try to discredit a nigga's argument, like niggas ain't smart. Everybody don't rush Kendrick the same way they rush Drake. The audience.
Of course not.
I know that. That's why I said it. The audiences are not
mad,
because you annoying me now. The audiences are not the same.
The liberal whites love Kendrick, and they're not fucking with the album. There's a lot of people who are a Kendrick fan who are rejecting this album.
I saw a lot of great critics scores.
Bro, because he's still moving a big number, so it's gonna be great. But at the end of the day, the people who are ingesting that music don't want this shit.
And for a lot of songs, he did perform. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's bad music. It's just it's very like extreme, strenuous, intense. Like it weighs a lot on you, bro.
Like
it feels almost like I'm going to the museum.
That's a y'all problem. That's a y'all problem.
That's the listener's problem.
No, it's not. Like the way you sat here and talked about Cole when we did the Cole versus Kendrick, for you to now spin back and bloviate about Kendrick like this, bro. Like it's clear that you're a fan, bro. You're not being objective. It's obvious.
Objective.
Cool.
The only thing, look, the thing that Cole has over Kendrick is that he's more active in the game. He's more active in the field. Right. He'll do the features with Benny. He'll do the features with 21 Savage. You know what I mean? Like I give that to him. Like, and that's probably why a lot of people are siding with Cole when we talk about Kendrick versus Cole, is because he's present. He's
making music they want to hear. Stop jumping over that fucking line, bro. Yeah. You keep hopscotching around it. He's making music people want to hear, bro.
I still disagree with that. I ain't fucking with Cole over Kendrick. Y'all ain't gonna get me.
What the hell did you just say?
I didn't hear. I was listening to Mace.
Just because people don't want to hear it don't mean it's not good.
Correct.
But no one's not saying it's not good. We're just saying that people don't want to hear it.
We're saying it's not a classic, hands down 5 out of 5 that you're saying it is.
It's a decent album.
Replay value.
I went
because we're running out of time here.
It's Kendrick's worst solo.
Based on what we've said, I think it's pretty clear.
Whoa. What?
I keep saying that. How are y'all so shocked? I don't understand. I keep saying it. Y'all so shocked.
We gotta get off this topic, bro.
What? What are you talking about, son?
Damn is actually like,
bro, like I'm just stressed.
I got
at this
Damn is
point.
number 2 after Good Kid.
This is crazy to me, bro.
Good Kid number 1. Damn 2.
Anyway, so replay value is obviously important to the three of us here. Since Sid doesn't think it matters as much based on everything he said about Kendrick, but I don't want to speak for you. Go ahead.
Wait, I didn't just say that I've been replaying this album? It has plenty of replay value to me.
How important is replay value to a classic album?
I'd say it's moderately important.
Okay.
Moderately important.
Moderately important.
I think it's greatly important. It's like damn near the most important. When I was trying to think of this topic here, I was like, what are the classic albums that don't have replay value? What are they?
Apparently this album.
Right. I'm just saying every album that doesn't have replay value. Now, of course, you have different to give it context, you have different reasons. There's some albums that sound so much like the time that it's like, okay, all of these Swiss Beats produced records. I can't listen to this. You know what I mean? Or Eminem record that might have been classic in the time, but he has so much pop culture references that are specific to that era. So there's different caveats that you can say replay value diminishes over time, but an album that straight up when it drops you feel has no replay value, there's no classic in that. And even the albums that I'm talking about, you kind of strip those classic status away from them. We now call Eminem's discography whack. I remember in real time Eminem having a great discography.
Especially
his
the first
3 albums being great.
Yeah,
but after years, you know what I mean? We're like, this shit's kind of bland, bro. You know what I mean? Them beats that he got with them snares, I ain't fucking with it. You know what I mean?
That happened to me on the way here. It was some
Skylar Grey,
and I had to cut it off.
And it's like it's hard to listen to.
Skylar Grey on every other song.
Skylar Grey and shit. And even when you get into the volumes with Jay, there's so much music that's so exclusive to that era. Yeah. That's why Blueprint hit so hard. And to this day, we love it so much.
Beautifully. I think Volume 2 is where it gets a little
That's
funny
where it gets that era, that late 90s, you know what I mean? Like Casio beat era, you know what I mean? And even X, as much as I love DMX, it's dark and as hell is hot. Is that album, the production sounds dated, you know what I mean? So it kind of takes the value down. I hear a lot of people say that about Get Rich or Die Trying. So it's like, I think replay value is the most important. So important that you can strip classic status away if 10 years later you're like, I can't listen to this shit, to be honest with you.
Like, what makes a classic is staying power. Like,
strip the classic status.
Yeah, like I was just talking about, like the Eminem albums 10 years ago. people would have called Hard Knock Life a classic. That's what I was hearing in my social circles.
Okay.
And now it's like Jay-Z's 6th best album when people talk about it.
Doesn't take away from being a classic.
Whoever said it's the 6th best album is an idiot, but go ahead.
Hey, I think Jay said that himself.
Even if that's the case, you can have
never said Volume
a bunch
2.
of classic albums.
Hard Knock Life, Jay said was his 6th best? I don't think he said that.
I think he had it after 444.
What?
Yeah, you know there was that viral IG post where he like had his CDs.
You sure that wasn't
listed?
Volume 3 he had at 6?
It might have been. I might be bugging.
I still love Volume 3.
The Migos got us, but I really feel like
y'all let what people say hold too much weight.
It's not necessarily what people say, bro.
Wait, go ahead, Dini, because now I'm legit confused now.
It's like when you think of a classic, it has to last, bro. Like we're speaking of, like it's usually top tier. It's usually something that people want to model after, and it's usually like held as a great regard in the field it's in, like a Cadillac. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's usually held at a standard. And you could, one of the things about caddies, you know, like certain Chevys, they say you could drive them shits 50, 100 years later if you take care of them. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, they last, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, lasting is a major part of it being a classic. If a caddy dropped off on you like after 2 years, it wouldn't be a classic. The whole thing is that we can go back to it and it still somewhat gives us the feeling we had. Like you just said, the 98 Hove joint.
Right. Volume 2.
I bumped that, bro. Is it a classic album to me? Yes, because it takes me to a place when I listen to it. That's why somebody would tell me Lil Wayne has a classic album. I would disagree, but I'm like, I know the numbers. I know the people it reached. Right. I know what it did to the streets. You know what I'm saying? You can't negate the touch of the people. You do that a lot, bro. You forget that you don't like Future, you know what I'm saying? But he's a mega star, you know what I'm saying? Like he touches the people. And Future does have classic albums, you know what I'm saying? You would disagree most likely, but the free world would say he does. You get what I'm saying? Does that mean he don't have a classic?
If we talk about trap, he has trap classics, sure.
Here's my question for you, Sin, because I'm honestly confused at this point.
Okay.
You saying that we overvalue what the people think as a whole. So then what's the scale? Who decides?
Well, when I say that, it's like it was in response to what Mace was saying.
Okay.
It's like if you regard an album a classic, and it's classic to you in your age group, in your demographic, in your era, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden you start hearing chatter on Twitter that it's overrated, it's not really a classic, whatever. Like, so you're just going to change your mind about the status of that album to you?
I can see what you're saying. There's a lot of groupthink. Groupthink is a problem. I see what you're saying on that front.
Right.
That's it. Okay.
That's my point.
Nah, well, I feel like...
Wow, how far... Sorry to cut you off, George, but how much do you take into consideration somebody giving you a different perspective, though? And how open are you to taking a different perspective if somebody tells you, you know what, that song you think is classic, I don't like this about it. Are you actually listening to that?
So
or fuck that?
What I'm saying is, I hear everybody's perspective at this table, right? It's too heavy for y'all. Y'all don't feel like listening to these topics. Y'all don't feel like listening to him talking about, childhood abuse or, transgenderism or whatever. I welcome all of that. I like I said in one of our most recent videos, I need some new subjects to be addressed in hip hop. I need some new stories. Mm-hmm. This album gave me like so many fresh perspectives on things that I don't hear in this genre. Right. And it was such a blast of fresh air to me that I was just like, yo, this is what I've been looking for.
I understand that, Sin, but
it also sonically, it was a blast of fresh air for me too.
I get that, but that's the issue. I think that's the biggest issue at the table is the fact that, like, musically, sonically, however you want to call it, this album didn't land, bro. Like for you feel like you pushed the culture forward, and I understand that. But I feel like for the sake of the messaging, I'm not mad at it. I don't give a fuck. I like women. Beautiful. If nigga want to rap about his uncle being his aunt, that doesn't bother me. Right. Whatever your preference is, be clear. I don't care.
Live your life.
Live your life.
My auntie is a man
I
now.
thought it was ill that Kendrick talked about it. I just felt like the delivering, the conveying of the message, the vector that carried the message was boring.
Let me ask this.
One person said it was
like
coffee,
a concept
it was like coffee house music or some shit, and I was like, yes,
wow.
like that's exactly what this shit is.
But what's wrong with a concept album?
Nothing.
Nothing. If you make it sound good,
I want better ingredients, bro.
But you just said as a complaint. It's like a concept album. It sounded like a complaint.
It did.
There's nothing wrong with being a concept album. I just felt like the message. I hate you, Job. The messaging hits harder than the music does, and I feel like you refuse to accept that, bro. Like the fact is on him, like the man had great the music, bro.
I feel like if he had more fire beats with the same ass album, we'd be having an entirely different conversation.
But listen, the 5/4 time signature beat drum loop that he had on the intro. United in Grief.
I like that song.
That shit is crazy. Like, who raps over a 5/4 time signature?
Kendrick is
drum loop?
Dope. He's nice.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
That's not enough.
Flexing on
who
it.
does?
Bro, it's just like I said.
Right.
Sid, I said this to you months ago on the
And
show. I felt like Jay-Z was never better as an individual rapper than he was on Blueprint 2, but the songs weren't there, so we didn't give a fuck.
But this is my thing. Y'all want to hear motherfuckers flex topically, like y'all want to hear the words of them flexing. I'm the best. I'm number one. Nobody's fucking with me.
I don't even want that. I just want better beats, bro.
Right? No. But here's what I'm saying. I want to hear motherfuckers flex musically. Rhyming over a 5/4 time signature beat, that's a flex to me. And him landing in the pocket, that's a flex to me. That to me tells me that he's a better rapper than J. Cole rapping on 4/4 beats all the time. No matter what J. Cole says, and I love J. Cole's newfound confidence.
Right.
But the fact that he, it's different levels of flexing to me. So musically, I think Kendrick flexed more on this album than other rappers.
I agree. When it comes to the rapping, what I said when you heard the Hard Part 5, I said that shit was expert rap. The nigga was tippy-toeing like flawlessly through different pockets, especially that second verse. It was like, this nigga's something else. That's why I got so tight when niggas said that he wasn't saying shit. I'm like, this nigga was rapping his ass off. But again, it's like, when rappers are great, it's like we compare basketball. Kobe is great. We know that.
Right.
But if Kobe has a 45-point game and he took 37 shots and we lost, I don't care, bro. We know he's great. He's the best. But what about the rest? I want a higher shooting percentage. I want a few more assists. I want a couple of defensive stops late. The beats wasn't there for us. If you feel like the Sonics, the rapping, everything was the next evolution of hip hop, respectfully, I disagree. But I know I'm gonna refrain from saying you wrong because this is subjective. I don't think that's what hip hop needs from Kendrick. That's what I'll say.
What do you want him to do then?
I told you what I want. I want boom bap, Kendrick.
You want
the space is there now.
You want a whole Alchemist produced album.
Fuck it.
Why not? If it sound fire.
With the same topics.
What about Danger?
Look what he did with fucking week. Whoa.
Too far, Sin.
Too far.
Too
You
far.
don't want
Alright,
any
my bad, my
Danger.
bad. Let me
No.
sit back.
No,
Let me
we
sit
gotta
back.
move on. We done talked about this shit for
If I do have a gripe with the album, now that I take my cape off,
Okay.
it's a little heavy-handed.
Okay.
And what I mean by heavy-handed is like when I'm watching a movie and they they're so direct with what they're trying to say instead of letting us figure it out.
Yeah.
There was a few times in there when it was like, stop dancing around the conversation, and I'm like, all right, I got it. I got the concept. Y'all didn't have to explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. I understand that. Over time, that might knock half a point off. I might knock half a point off for putting the fucking Hard Part 5 on there. I'm mad
That shit
about
don't
that.
even fit nowhere on the album.
No, it doesn't.
It has no
And you
business
really don't
there.
think that's the best song on the album?
I don't.
No, because it doesn't belong
Nah.
there. It doesn't sound like
Even-
shit. It don't
It's
fit
a great
nowhere.
song. I love this song. I just don't feel like it, as a part of the piece.
The Rap Roundtable.
The piece of work that the album is conceptually and the way it's sequenced, it doesn't belong on there.
I don't think it's top 5.
They made it
Honestly.
they made it disc
There's
3.
some great
like,
songs on there.
On
They didn't even try to put it somewhere where it could blend. They just threw it at the end here.
Yo, it's even titled as one. Like it's not even a part of the actual
Right.
joint.
It's a bonus track.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bonus track basically.
All right, we had another topic involving Kendrick. Well, we done Kendricked out this whole episode.
Damn sure
So
do.
we gonna move on.
Facts.
A topic that our fans love to hear us talk about.
Oh, really?
DJ Clue went on the Math Hoffa show. Shout out to Math for giving us content to talk about. Your
yeah.
podcast
Math.
is fire. Clue kind of tippy-toed around the question when they discussed it. I don't know if y'all got to tap into the clip or not, But basically, the subject matter was it actually Nas who started the beef with Jay-Z? And the way Clue was trying to not answer the question, it seems to me that Clue thinks that Nas started it. Sincere, we've heard a lot from you. I need to hear some more. Is Clue tippy-toeing a telltale sign that Nas started it actually?
So I did a deep dive earlier today because I have to get to the bottom of this. Obviously, there's this feud, this relationship is fraught with rivalry over the years, and there's a lot of stray shots, a lot of freestyles, a lot of lines that were directed at each other between Jay-Z and Nas. So who did who first?
Hey,
who did what first? Not bad.
My
Amigos.
auntie is a man now.
Who did what first? Ew. Let's strike that from the record. Who did what first? All right. It depends on your perspective. All right. So, to my knowledge, based on my research, I think it might have started all the way back with Nas' "We Will Survive," when he had some bars that were talking about how motherfuckers is talking about like they're the new king or whatever. I got the bar here. Let me bring it up. It used to be fun making records to see your response, but now competition is none. Now that you're gone, and these motherfuckers is wrong, using your name in vain, and they claim to be New York's king. It ain't about that, right? So that was on I Am.
That's crazy, bro.
We Will Survive. Now, if you go back to Hard Knock, the Volume 2 album, Hard Knock Life, Jay-Z had the song Ride or Die, where he was aiming shots at unnamed rappers. A lot of people said it was towards Mace, but it could have been interpreted towards Nas.
Yeah.
That's a question mark. So we don't really know, right? So that's a toss-up. But after that, there was Memphis Bleak on What You Think of That, right? And he said, "I'm a ball till I fall." That was part of the hook, right? That was the hook. But Jay had a lot of bars in that, aiming at, again, some unnamed rapper. It could have been Nas. And then Nas comes back on Nostradamus. "You want a ball till you fall? I can help you with that." Right?
I don't want peace.
You want beef?
I want problems.
I can let
always.
a slug melt in your hat.
That's my shit right there, boy.
I hate that song, but I digress.
That's my bar right there. I ain't gonna lie.
Now that beat was kind of tough though.
Yeah.
But then
That's
can't do it.
it was too sappy for you though.
Yeah,
Chorus
man,
was a little
hell yeah.
cheesy.
Jay-Z comes back on Volume 3 with his That Yo Bitch Scorcher.
Yeah.
A clear shot.
Yes, sir.
Sheesh. And then that's when Nas came back with Eye for an Eye freestyle in 2000, right? On one of Clue's mixtapes. So based on that timeline, and viewers out there, listeners, if I'm missing anything in this timeline, if there's anything that needs to be added to this, let me know.
Now you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna run to you know who. Because Sincere said y'all be in the chat snitching. Sincere from the Rap Roundtable said, yeah, all right, go ahead, Sid.
Yeah, it could be stemming from Nas, Nas's line in "We Will Survive" saying that motherfuckers shouldn't be claiming the throne so quickly after Biggie died. Jay-Z could have been sending shots at Nas on Ride or Die, but everybody was saying it was Mace at the time, so who knows? But the clear thing for me is Memphis Bleak, "I'm a ball till I fall," and then Jay-Z's verse aiming at unnamed rappers, which definitely sounds like it was aimed at Nas. And then Nas coming back on Nostradamus, and it escalated from there. So I can't really call it. Yeah, what do y'all think?
I mean, I thought it could have been a couple things. Saying I think then Hov wanted do music with him at a certain time, and he always
It was always rumored that Jay-Z wanted to be down with the firm or do collabs with Nas, and Nas was just like,
that's one
I'm
thing.
not really.
And
fucking with that vibe.
He was Foxy. He was dealing with Foxy, then Foxy was in the firm.
That's
that
true
could be
too.
something else too. And then you got got something in common. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of energy
Is that true?
behind that.
But who do you think like really started?
I think Nas started it.
Nas
I don't want peace.
I joke.
Nas is a Virgo, man, and when Virgos don't fuck with you, they just don't fuck with you, and people could take that the wrong way. You get what I'm saying? I could have, like, it's like you want to make music with somebody and they tell you, nah, we only fuck with you like that. You can hold a real deep, like, hatred for that person in a way.
So I could definitely see that as, you know, as somebody that feels like they have some similarities with Nas's personality. I could see how, because people have accused me of being like
a fake Nas fan.
No. Yes.
That's the Ray Liotta.
Right. No, but throughout my life, Nas aside, music aside, like, people have accused me of being like stuck up or arrogant because I don't, you know, I be to myself and I don't really talk to people. But that's just me being an introvert, and I just, you know, I don't have the energy right now to really like vibe or talk to people, right? And so, like, if as an artist somebody comes up to me and says, hey, let's collab, and I'm just not feeling it, like, somebody might take that as some type of diss, when to me it's not about that at all. It's just about my own personal energy, and I just don't feel that energy right now. So I could definitely see, like, you know, if Jay at that time in the mid 90s, early to mid 90s, was talking about let's collab, let's do a feature, let's do a song together, whatever, and Nas was like, I don't know, because he's fucking with Wu-Tang, he's fucking with, you know, AZ, he's fucking with Mobb Deep, then, you know, Jay might have felt some type of way.
And that's exactly it, basically. Like, that's when the beef started. When Nas left Jay-Z in the studio for consecutive days, waiting to record Bring It On, and he had to put Source Money on that bitch instead. Like, that's when the beef started. Jay-Z pursued his baby moms after that. Jay-Z kept his name in his music. Like, Jay-Z literally, once he reached a certain level, he sent Memphis Bleak at Nas. He sent Beanie Siegel at Jadakiss, the two people that could have taken him off the throne. Like, let's stop being diplomatic here. Jay-Z started this beef. He knew Nas wasn't worried about Jay-Z at first. If you want to keep it real, he didn't.
I mean, the last real nigga alive kind of depicts that Nas didn't give a fuck.
He didn't care about Jay-Z, and that's not an indictment on Jay-Z's skill level or talent, but Nas didn't consider him. Nas has been in interviews saying the rappers that scared me were Biggie and Pac and Cannabis. Like that's just how Nas looked at him. Jay-Z, being the egomaniac he is, rightfully deserved, you know what I mean? It's Jay-Z, was like, wow, this nigga really don't think I'm like that? Like, he really, this nigga. I'm the guy. Like, Biggie fucking with me, he not fucking with me? Like, what's going on? Jay-Z started this, man.
I'll take it a step further. Sin made some good points, Deanie made some good points about, like, the persona of Nas. Nas himself, ego and all, views himself as the personification of hip-hop, like what it means to be
golden
hip-hop.
child.
You know what I'm saying? And then you look at Jay-Z, and we've touched on this many times on the pod. Jay-Z represented that new era, the flashy era, the money, the braggadociousness. I'm pretty sure the way Nas is set up, a dude like Hov who's popping crystals, the life of the party, etc., he ain't like that type of nigga. Like, he couldn't fuck with him, you know what I'm saying? And I think that played a role in it. What May said is also accurate, and I think that touched Jay. But, like, I hate to say this about my favorite rapper because, you know, I try to be the cape wearing nigga. It's his fault. Because, all right, you got stood up at the studio, son didn't pull up on you, all right, bet. Me in that same situation, maybe I'm a little more volatile. If Sin dubs me, I'm coming to the nigga crib, like, yo, what the fuck? I'm hitting your line like, yo, I'm here, right? Like, what's up? I'm not gonna send Bleak to, you know what I mean? In a verse I probably wrote to diss Nas, like, nah.
The subliminal
fuck out of here. If nothing else, I'd have went to A&G, say, I tried to get Nas on the album, but he fronted on me. I'd have put it on wax. I'd have made it hot. That's what I would have done.
Pressure on him.
Put it on gas. Like, the route he took, in hindsight, we love the bars. I hate that Nas doesn't look at Jay that way, because Jay was like that, you know what I'm saying? But maybe he just wasn't as good as, we talked about it, filling shoes and all that. He wasn't as good as Big in 98, of course not. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like, and Nas talked about it on Magic about, you know, having regrets. I'm sure Nas wishes he was a little more patient with this rap shit as far as relationship building than that he is now. Like, the shit Nas is doing now, we would have never seen that 20, 25 years
at
ago.
all.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? But I think Jay handled that wrong. If he would have just put it on blast, like go to the radio, go to Flex, go to Angie, yeah, I tried to get Nas, but he fronted him. The ball would have been in Nas's court right there. Before there was no internet, so there was no rumors.
Right.
It would have just been, yo, Nas, why you ain't do that song with Jay? Then we would have got the collab, and then maybe they would have beefed anyway, but at least things probably would have went a little bit differently.
Proper perspective.
So what you're saying is the passive aggressiveness didn't work.
Passive aggressiveness on both sides.
He should have just went either straight to him, or just left him alone. And let him die on his own, because Nas was doing bad at the time. We got to keep it real.
He was on his way out.
But
he was doing bad.
I'll take the Zodiac route. The problem with Jay-Z is that Sagittarius shit. Sagittarius people are passive aggressive to the max.
I feel attacked.
I'm sorry, Mace, but that is their signature move. They'll send a side shot while you eating a piece of chicken from some shit that happened last week. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck they do. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of Jay-Z, we'll make this one quick. I don't know. I don't like how this one feels. It felt like pandering to me. But he was also on a Math Hoffa show. Math Hoffa giving us more content.
Shout out to Math. We met Math at the Karma.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, Math must be in the
cool
streets.
nigga.
I met Math up the block from my job. You out in the streets, Math?
I fuck with Math since the URL days. You know what I'm saying? Smack DVD. Shout out to him.
Fat Joe was like essentially regretting the beef with Jay-Z and saying that it's his fault. I didn't like that. I don't know why I didn't like it, but I didn't like that because it didn't. You know what it is like. Who am I to say what's real from what's fake? But I felt like Fat Joe didn't need to say that. That's my opinion. I felt like they had the history. We got some bars out of it. We got some legendary moments out of it. I enjoyed the Fat Joe versus Hov beef just as much as the Nas Jay-Z beef because of the bars that came out of it and the genuine dislike that both sides had for each other. So it's almost weird for me in 2022 to see that they're cool and this nigga's basically Rock Nation. I think I think he has a Rockefeller chain if I'm not mistaken.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Or I know Khaled has one. I'm tripping. I think Khaled has one.
Don't Jim Jones got one?
Fab got one.
Wow. Hov.
That's what I'm saying. I was like... Like, you didn't need to say that, Fat Joe. It irks me, bro.
Was he, because I didn't see the clip, was he asked about it?
Yeah, you know, Matt be asking them questions.
All right.
Yeah.
So, in the context of all the beefs, they basically asked him, you know, how did it feel to be the guy who went up against Jay-Z and 50 Cent, the two hugest dudes out of New York ever, you know what I mean? And he basically said 50 started that beef, but that he was at fault for the Jay beef.
I respect it.
Don't get me wrong. But that wasn't a rap. To me, like, Nas and Jay was rap shit that got personal.
Right.
Like, to me, Hov and Fat Joe was always personal. It became rap. You know what I'm saying?
It was Rucker, was it not?
Among other things, like in the club and Hov got hit over the head with the bottle.
The story is that
the Terror Squad story.
The story is that Terror Squad paid for Hov to do a show. He came out and basically half-assed the show. Terror Squad went to see him afterwards. Pun chased him around the joint
over the head with the bottle.
And then it was beef moving forward. You know what I mean? Now Joe, before this interview, he's always kept it a little real about feeling like he felt like he was the guy in the streets in New York. So seeing Jay-Z get, you know, basically the face of New York for that whole era kind of got to him a little bit. He's mentioned that before, I think, in another interview. But, you know, according to him, for all these years, according to Cuban Link, according to Tony Sunshine, I know way too many Terror Squad members. According to all these guys, Jay-Z came to the show and he was, you know, he stunted on him and they had beef about it. So I agree with Joe. I feel like Joe is in, you know, and shouts to Joe. He's like the best interview in hip hop. We got to get him on a rap roundtable one day.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But I feel like he's in political mode at this point. He's getting money with Jay-Z. He mentioned that in the interview as well. So he just kind of, you know, smooth things over.
He's like an old Don who's lamenting. You know what I mean?
For real, when you reach a certain age, you can't be hot-headed and be, you know, acting just straight off ego anymore. Like, you know what I mean? You got to pick your battles, and if some of those battles you could just like let go and take the L on, you know what I mean? From like 20 years ago, just fuck it, let it be.
And I'm sure he laments, like, I could have got a lot of money doing features with Hov.
That's
you know
what he
said.
said.
He made M's with Hov.
And
that's only the last few years.
in general.
To me, like, think about what Lean Back with a Hov verse would have did back then. It would have been something stupendous. You know what I mean?
But he spun back the block and got him from all the way up, though.
Nah, I wouldn't have hit. Hov was still in his prime when Lean Back was out. That all the way up verse was garbage.
I'm talking about as far as
you see that? Hold on, Sid. I said a Jay-Z verse. I'm going to stop this show every time I say it. That all the way up verse was garbage. Carry on.
I want my lifestyle with Hov on there would have been crazy.
Come on. What about Incredible?
Come on.
Oh yeah,
Incredible.
once again back is the Incredible.
Just
man.
Blaze beat.
Come on. So we missed out on
We
opportunities.
did.
And Fat Joe hit his apex around 05, 06 as a rapper. He
Yeah.
was-
Right.
Nigga, I bought Jealous One Still MV2,
Yeah.
bro. I was
And
like, yo,
two.
this shit is fire.
Yeah.
1 and 2 was fire.
He found Pun's rhyme book for
My
sure.
shit, yeah.
Yo. All right.
My shit was
Yeah.
Don Carter Jr.
Damn
I
it,
love
man.
That, album.
That was fire, too.
Yeah,
Joey's
man.
underrated. Shout to Joey, man.
The
Yeah.
joint he did with the nigga from Dre from Cool and Dre a couple years ago,
Yeah.
low key
Yeah,
kind of
that's
right.
some joints.
He
Yo,
made
I
like
really-
the Biggie album where he went over what would Biggie do that they snatched off of or streaming services.
I'm
that was
rant
crazy.
a little bit because I feel like the internet, Twitter especially, like they be shitting on Fat Joe. They be like underrating him.
They don't
or
appreciate
like,
him.
They don't. Yeah, they definitely don't appreciate him for like really holding down the culture and being a part of the culture for this long. Like Fat Joe really is as hip hop as it gets, man. All the way back to you know, motherfucker, being in the Bronx streets, fucking tagging up, fucking DITC, Terror Squad, Discovering Pun. Like, come on, man, you can't
his
discredit that. They
resurgence.
be discreding him like crazy, bro.
And the
That shit
Cali
makes me so
resurgence.
mad.
I mean, a whole brand new run with the Cali resurgence.
But
though.
that's the shit that makes people mad because the proximity to Khaled, like people don't. Khaled just annoys people.
relevance,
Right.
man.
You know what I mean? Myself
Right.
included. You know what I mean?
I think the sales thing hurts him. That's when he never at the boom period of hip hop he wasn't moving units like that.
Right.
Facts.
Not, I don't know. I guess because he wasn't moving units like that, but he made the reach. You know what I mean? And kind of left the DITC aesthetic behind him and went for the reach, went for the more like Florida sound, down south sound, and never really moved the units like that. I guess. You know what I mean? There's
But
there's something you
Miami
can say to
Fat
that,
Joe
but-
was fire. That
Fire.
That flavor he had so much more.
So
That-
much more.
Ooh.
You
Not-
ain't saying
not according-
nothing. Miami,
Not according to
Miami.
Twitter, man.
Joe,
That joint with Genuine.
Clap and revolve.
clap and revolve.
A couple of
He was
joints.
doing
Yeah,
raw style
he
better
had
than
joints.
Ross.
He had joints, man. That's one like that. If I would have like at the end of the '90s, if you would have asked me, yo, who's gonna make it from the '90s into the 2000s, I wouldn't have said Fat Joe.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? But the fact that he was able to make his lane in the 2000s, like
Yeah.
all
Still be
the
relevant.
credit to
There
him,
was a
man.
point in the
25 years
2000s
later,
where
all
he
the
was
flowers.
higher on the power rankings than Cameron, than
Yeah,
50.
he had a run.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jay and Nas are goated, so we don't even
Yeah.
consider
To me,
them.
they
But
don't
every
belong on
other
any
dude
list.
in New York, Fab, Joe was hotter than everybody, and he was spitting crazy. You know what I mean?
He had a
So,
run, man.
yeah.
Several. Actually.
Stop discrediting Joe out there.
Stop it, y'all.
Mace, we've talked about some young rappers.
Yeah, we are.
We've talked about some old rappers.
Yeah.
But what's been missing from the Rap Roundtable recently is the segment where you pull up and let us know about the younger rappers in the
do.
game, bro.
I do. And while in past episodes I had things prepared, way more interesting things, I gotta tell you what's going on right now, y'all. We got indictments, and
Nasty.
more indictments, man. I mean,
Indictment in.
And more indictment.
and more, man. And I don't even like
Got the
coming up here and just talking about crime all day,
Got the
like we the
indictments
news. You know what I
tighten.
mean? But you know, the young rappers. I mean, where can I start?
D-Thang.
D-Thang out of RPT, out of the Bronx. He's
BX
already
stand up.
locked up on gun charges. He's already, had some charges brought against him. He is awaiting trial. Recently, the indictment for his gang basically came up. It's animal cruelty in there. It's murder
It's
in
nasty,
there. It's
bro.
drug dealing. It's looking bad for D-Thang. And I made it a point when I first came out here to kind of, rock with the Bronx drill. You know what I mean? I'm not even a Bronx dude, but I'm like, this is the movement out of this city. This is what I hear. This is what's coming next. But them dudes are cooked, man. I'm going to keep it a buck with you.
It took
Is it
33
K-Flock
niggas
already
in.
locked?
K-Flock is
Already
locked
locked.
for a body, man.
Shit.
This is what I'm saying.
With the Amiris? God damn
the
it.
Marys, the exclusive Marys that
Yeah.
they probably has a receipt
They
for.
indicted the Marys.
Yeah, man, and even Gunna, you know what I mean? Gunna had such a great year, moved to a different level commercially, you know what I mean? And he just had his trial moved back to January
summer.
2023.
Nasty. They took
So
his whole year away,
Gunna is
basically.
some of your summer's cooked, your Christmas is cooked, your Thanksgiving. Hopefully, that works out for Gunna, man.
New Year's
42
cooked.
Doug got locked up as well. The feds were on a manhunt for him. This is what I'm telling y'all, folks. It's hard to be the young rap guy and and really like kind of delve deep and try to come with something new, you know what I mean? The best I could give you was Lil Baby's dropping in June, which we hyped for that. We gonna check that one out. July. Yeah. Thank you, Sin. Sin, young rap.
I'm impressed. Shout out to Sin.
Sin on deck.
Applaud that man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we got Lil Baby coming, which is great because this year it seemed like, I don't know who was the catalyst, but it seemed like everybody want to drop this year. You know, all the heavy hits.
Heavy year.
Yo, here's a question that just popped in my head.
Okay.
You think this would have happened in our era if there was social media?
No.
Oh man, what do you mean all the indictments?
I just mean in the sense that like, I mean maybe not like the bigger rap stars, but a lot of the smaller rap stars, up and coming rappers are putting too much of their business out on social media because it's like it's just right there, and like there's like it's like they're almost they were brought up in it, so it's like it
they don't
feels
realize they
natural.
wildin', right?
It's like a reflex to them to just like whatever is happening in their life, whatever they did, they just fucking
show it.
Put it out there.
And Sin is right, and that's youthful ignorance as well as the generation before them not putting them on game and letting them know you're fucking up.
Keep the guns
now
off the camera.
Now and it's a weird dichotomy because we spoke about in our Zoom about Jay-Z basically doing his best, and Rock Nation, they got a team of lawyers, a crazy team of lawyers I heard over there. They are basically trying to get your lyrics taken out of a court case. So if you spit
absolutely.
that you did something and you got a court case, they can't use it anymore. But I think he should be doing the same thing with telling these young boys not to rap about the shit that they did yesterday. You know what I mean? So it's young rap knows,
This thing's
the old niggas is doing that too. To keep it a buck.
Yeah, honestly, because they chasing the young niggas, which is another thing we got to talk about.
It's also tough because, to Sin's question, to your point, it's the surveillance game is way different now.
Right.
A lot of the shit in hip hop 20 years ago was hearsay, or if the hip hop cops was there to see it. You got all these cameras, social media, IP addresses. You say one thing that's remotely a sub, like I got beef with you, Deanie, and I throw some shit on Instagram or Snapchat. Snapchat be lit with the beef. I didn't even know that. You say one thing that's even remotely sounding like they are on that shit, and they're tracing your IP address, and now they're tracking all of your shit, waiting for you to slip, bro.
Niggas did some shit to some nigga. He was counting money on the gram. Niggas pulled the serial number off the bread. Found out the bread was illegal.
That's how they got Pooh Shiesty.
My nigga, like it's on this different time.
That's exactly how they got Pooh Shiesty.
It's facts. It's phone tapping 3.0, bro.
Like it's like and y'all showing them this shit. That's the crazy thing. Y'all giving yourselves up.
Come on.
Because they live in this bubble where they believe that even though it's on the net, nobody's looking. When in reality, everybody's looking. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and so, Sin, to answer your question, I do think so, actually, because Tupac was rapping about all this shit that was actually going on. 50 Cent was putting everybody's name in the ghetto Quran. So I'm gonna take a little bit off of them for being of the generation that shared all this shit. We had rappers in the past that was telling to way too much as well. So,
well, I mean, Yayo talked about it. He said the feds was on him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Maybe you're right, Mace. Damn it. Is there any good news outside of Lil Baby
other
dropping?
than Lil Baby, I mean, I gotta keep it above.
Nothing makes
that out here. You know what I mean? And
Wow,
I was gonna flame
That's
Jack
crazy,
Harlow
bro.
the last episode, but
no. Give us 2 minutes of that, bro.
So
Moesha.
What you want? Jack Harlow.
Talk about it.
Moesha.
Yo, Brandon.
Wait a second.
I think I have exactly what you want to say about Jack Harlow right here.
Like, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? And why do we fucking keep acting like he's somebody that we need to fuck with? Get rid of this guy.
Immediately. Immediately, okay? We out of here.
Plant.
Oh, man.
Yo, so we're at an impasse with this topic. For the last, I want to say, month and a half, we've been campaigning that Doja Cat is not a rapper. The news comes out. Let me get the news ready. That Doja Cat is dropping a rap album. And it's on Twitter. It says Doja Cat says the next album will be a double album that is more rap centric and will fully be produced by Ninth Wonder and Jay Versace. These are rap producers, and she's rapping a rap centric album.
That's cool.
So my question is Doja Cat a rapper?
I would like to see it.
Okay.
Let me hear it.
I feel like she heard us. And then,
I'll make my mind up then.
Deanie shaking his head. Deanie the misogynist.
Until further notice.
In this group chat, y'all. In this group chat, I feel like I'm like the Doja Cat defender. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? She can kind of rap, y'all. Job called me on. He was like, put the raps up then, nigga. You know what I mean? So, you know, is Doja Cat a rapper? Nah. She has the ability to rap. The thing about Doja Cat is, if you're familiar with her music, is that her rap is like in 8-bar bridges. You know what I mean?
Right.
She give you a little bit of
with that weird ass
voice.
voice.
Right. You can tell that she's rapped before. You can tell that she has her own.
There's nothing wrong with using
You know
voices.
what I mean? Her own
Using
little
voice
style.
inflections.
But is Doja Cat a rapper? I don't know. But I think we need to appreciate the fact that before I was on the show, I was a fan. These brothers been begging Drake to just make a rap album. Wow. She heard the criticism. She got Jay Versace. Rest in peace to his mother. I saw that online. Wow. Shouts to him. You know what I mean? Hopefully everything is good. Condolences.
That's crazy.
And come on, like, she gonna make a ninth wonder, and she gonna make a rap album. This is what you know what I mean. This is what you would hope.
Doja Cat beat Drake to the rap album.
She beat Drake to the rap album.
And a double.
This is OVO Mace talking.
Yeah.
OVO Mace.
You just had a double album.
Wow. I am absolutely here to hear some
Ninth
Wonder beats. Jay Versace, I fucks with Jay Versace a little
Didn't he
bit.
produce for Westside?
Yes, sir.
He produced some songs for Westside, yeah. But I'm definitely here for some Ninth Wonder beats. As to how I'm gonna feel about Doja Cat rhyming over them, it remains to be seen. But this just comes down to, like, when you came in the game, what were you? You know what I mean?
A cow.
Like, you didn't get right, exactly. She was bitch. I'm a cow. That's how you came in the game. So, you know what I mean? If we don't see you as a rapper, that's, chalk it up to that. You know what I mean? You might have some rap skills. You know what I mean? You might display them over some Ninth Wonder beats. I would like to see it. But until that's done.
Deanie?
This shit better not be like when Primo did that shit for Christina Aguilera, man. That's all I'm saying.
Wow,
that's all I'm saying, man.
That's crazy, bro.
Wow.
Because I do not want to hear that type of shit.
That was garbage, Deanie.
Bro. Like, I hope she's really rapping, bro. I hope she's actually really. I hope she's this rapper that some people out here claim she is. Because there's a lot of ladies out here spitting bars, and I hope she's one of them. I have no evidence of what so far them little 8-bar joints ain't really doing.
Misogynist Deanie. Who's your favorite lady rapper?
Shit. Currently?
You done stumped this man.
I caught him lying, y'all.
Stumped this man.
I give Nicki her props for what she's done.
That's not even current, bro.
Nicki the GOAT.
I give old Megan her props. When Megan rap because she just wants to rap.
She's been out for like 2 years,
Yo, listen,
bro.
you see, when Deanie start pulling names out of the air, you don't have an answer.
I'm
just say you don't fuck with them, bro.
She used to have some. Remember when she used to rap?
Who is your favorite female rapper
of all time?
Right now.
Spitting.
I mean, hitting the table.
I did China shit. China Street shit was dope.
Shout to China. Shout to Shay Noir.
Shout out to home team China Street.
Tape was tough. Tape was tough. Shay Noir's fire.
What about Shorty you like from North Carolina?
Rhapsody.
Yo, what's she doing right now?
She's in album mode, I think.
Letting Doja Cat beat her to the ninth
Shorty out of Cincinnati.
I hope Doja Cat holla at Rhapsody. I hope you holla at the ladies.
Listen,
and make something happen.
North Carolina Connect. Rhapsody, Ninth Wonder. Rhapsody came up on Ninth Wonder's label. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
2022 Ladies Night.
That might happen.
Yes, sir.
Can we get something like that?
Doja Cat featuring Rhapsody?
Why not?
Produced by Ninth Wonder?
Why not?
Might be fire.
2022.
All I know is I've been real loud about Doja Cat not being a rapper. And I got some barbecue sauce in my fridge. I got some crows that's seasoning.
Sweet baby Ray's.
I might have to eat some crow, y'all.
Yeah, it's too early for that. It's
too early?
Yeah. It's too early. Chill out.
Especially since it's a double.
She just made some announcements on producers.
Hey, man.
We got to hear the bars.
We got to hear because if the bars ain't there, then I'm cooking.
She didn't say Alchemist too? Wasn't Alchemist supposed to be?
I just
she wanted to work with
Alchemist.
And I think Alchemist said
Alchemist
some kind words about her. I think so.
Alchemist.
Maybe Al can do the mixtape.
Yo, anyway, it remains to be seen.
We not misogynists, y'all. I just want y'all to
know. It's just one guy, Deanie. But
shout out to Daisy Lynn. she's nice. I've been following her on Instagram recently.
Shout the girl code.
Girl code.
Next up, Lady London. Lady London.
Now, Girl Code blowing all of them out the water right now.
I just seen them on the Apple Music playlist.
Now, low key, I hate to be that guy. I don't want to Tyson versus Ali them with Benny and Conway. But I like me some Sha Bigger.
There you go.
She's filthy, bro. She got the voice. She got the persona. She got the shit that I like from rappers.
It's deep. I like their chemistry. It's crazy.
Heard you.
Armani Caesar?
Armani Caesar.
She got better.
She's dope too.
Yeah.
She's gotten a lot better. I got to give credit where it's due.
Good call, son.
We listen to all rap, y'all.
Yes.
Hey, that's what we do.
NORE though, got in his feelings. He says that rappers shouldn't be doing interviews on the Lettermans and the other whiter platforms of the world, and they need to bring whatever they got going on to hip-hop based platforms. I don't know if I agree with NORE, but I hear Sincere saying some real shit, so I'm gonna pass the ball to the rap snob.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So I kind of made a point similar to this couple episodes ago, a couple videos ago, whatever. When we were talking about Megan Thee Stallion and her going to, because NORE, like in one of the tweets, he said like even going to Oprah or what's the other one?
Gail.
Spelled Gail wrong, but it was Gail.
Yeah. Even going to Oprah or Gail is whack to him. And I feel that because when we were talking about the whole Megan interview thing with, her little crying or whatever.
To the whites.
Right? She went to CBS, the whitest of the white networks. And even though it was Gail King, like, it's still white adjacent. Like, that's not a hip hop platform. That's not a platform of us, for us, or by us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like when she did that, I felt like, if you are going to tell the story, like, I almost felt like this is when I felt the most that she was trying to like throw Tory or anybody involved under the bus. Mm-hmm. This is when I really, really felt that the most, right? Because she's going to, she's going to them instead of talking with us. You know what I mean? So when NORE said that, like, I felt them. Like, yeah, we should aspire to like not be niche, but like hip hop is so big right now. Like, I still feel like people feel, especially with like. So I'm guessing that part of what led to this statement by NORE is that Cardi was on David Letterman's show on Netflix, right? And Cardi's a megastar. She can go wherever she wants. You know what I mean?
Cardi be in the streets though.
But like, right? But like, the feeling I guess is that because Cardi is so big, she can just like jump right over the hip hop platforms and go straight to the whites. Yeah. Right? And it's like, but we're the ones that brought you to that level. Like, at least, show some love to the hip hop platforms of color instead of jumping straight for like David Letterman. Like, you know what I mean? You could show a little, but go to David Letterman, but like, make some stops here and there first. Make some stops with NORE, make some stops with Joe Budden, here and there.
The Rap Roundtable. Shit, completely.
Yeah, come in.
The Rap Roundtable.
Yeah.
I mean, I see what NORE is saying. I guess Sin just speaking made me see the point of view a little more. I disagree. Coming into this episode, I disagreed fully with NORE. But I guess my point of view was, I still look at it a little bit dated as far as it's dope to see a rapper get those kind of placements.
Right.
Because it's still kind of a novelty, in my opinion, to get the Lettermans or the Tonight Shows or the Jimmy Kimmels. Like, if you get that, like, you've made it. Like, you've made it.
Right.
You've transcended. You're crossover now. You know what I mean? But at the same time, hip hop and hip hop media has changed so much that I kind of see what's in the same, because right now, if Mason's dropping an album and he gets that Drink Champs interview, that's a big part of your rollout. That's a big deal in the culture. Rap is so big that I don't think they need to go to Letterman's or Tonight Shows or Jimmy Kimmel's anymore. Right. They have platforms. You go to a Joe Budden for an interview. You go to a Drink Chance for an interview. There's another podcast that's bubbling right now. Oh, 100, was it the joint with Gilly's podcast, $100 million
worth of game. $100 million worth of game. That's actually a good point there.
These are big, humongous platforms that can be part of building your brand, because it might be a nigga who's watching that podcast that doesn't even tap into your music. Just like how we have our space in the world. We brought Rim, we brought Eddie Kane.
Right.
Some of our viewers didn't know who these guys were, and they was like, you know what? I don't fuck with their music now because I like their energy, whatever. You don't need to go crossover anymore. Like, to me, Megan Thee Stallion could have sat across from Joe Budden on Revolt and had that same interview about Tory. She didn't have to go to Gayle.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I said you right. Like, I came in ready to disagree, but based on what you say, you 100% right. I don't know if y'all want to add anything to that.
No, I still kind of disagree when it comes to a point, and maybe that's because it was NORE saying it, because even though, and I watch all of the big Drink Champs episodes, so this ain't, shots at you, NORE, but maybe, Cardi B don't want to get weeds blew in her face. Maybe she don't want to have to get forced to drink and get clapped in her face every time she make a point. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel offended. Or not make a point
and the horn goes on and they clap.
Right. Where is Megan supposed to go? To Charlamagne, who sniffed chairs after people leave the show? To Joe Budden, who may or may not have sex with dogs? Where is she supposed to go? Bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to up the professionalism.
Came through firing.
I gotta keep it real. I'm on a rap podcast. I love hip hop. This is what I listen to. This is what I live. But I gotta keep it real at the same time. If you want those news type, those Barbara Walters type situations, then y'all gotta step your professionalism up. That's all. You know what I mean? Because if you're the platform to go to, you will get.
But bro, Joe Budden just had Nicki on a sit down on a Patreon.
He has. He might have sniffed a chair afterwards. I don't know. Yo,
get rid of this guy.
I don't know.
Like, yo,
bro. I think I agree with the both of you. I think you should do those major publications and platforms like Ellen and all that, because that's where that's where the real eyes are. That's where the real money is. But if you love the culture, if you love the fans, you never forget where you came from. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna spin the block and you're gonna do those publications, because even when you're talking to them people, you know who really you got to tap into. You know who's really listening to hear your real perspective. Like, when them people listen to Gayle King and Megan, you think a bunch of people said, let's really hear Megan's side of this. They didn't give a fuck.
It was for the salacious.
There you go. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, come to the place where we actually give a fuck. I would love to hear what Cardi has to say about things going on.
So let me say this to you, Denny. What if I'm throwing this back to you? What if Cardi is a pop star now who happens to rap? Maybe she's not a rapper anymore.
I don't think that about, because Cardi still be in the ghetto.
Cardi the person, not Cardi the act. If you go on to Letterman and you hopping over the Drink Champs and the Joe Buttons and the Gilly the Kid pods of the world, you getting in those rooms, that means you're a pop music act now.
I would agree. But this is fucking Cardi B. Did she tell Oprah some shit, my pussy tinkles or some shit like that? This is like somebody who's like a gangster.
It's also possible, like, I haven't seen.
I don't know
the interview.
She said that, just to be clear.
She said some ill shit. It was an interview where she was talking to somebody like of prestige, and she said something crazy. I was like, wow. Like,
I don't know if she said that.
I haven't seen it.
I'll run it back for you.
But I wonder if this is almost like a litmus test for Cardi, because I remember seeing her on what's this guy's on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and she was like super nervous, mad awkward, like sounding like, you know what I mean, like she didn't have no PR training or nothing, you know what I mean. So I almost feel like maybe she's just like testing herself to see if she's improved in that lane. Like, I could go to a Letterman now and give a much better interview and much better showing than I did like a few years ago.
Or she's rolling out. Maybe this is the beginning of some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And also another way to look at it too is, self-serving in and of itself. Because what if she just said, "Fuck it, I'll go do Gilly's pod." Yeah. And who's the other person he said? What if she did everybody's but his? Yeah. You think he'll still have another complaint about it?
To me, Drink Champs is to me the penultimate spot. Like, to me, like that's really right now. If you're a rapper, that is a prestige interview.
Yeah.
Like the names he's getting to sit there with you. If you do that, you're doing about 2 to 3 million views on that. I don't even know where the Kanye views are.
Dave Chappelle pulling up. Donnell Rawlins pulling up.
You know what I mean? And and my thing is, like, we have to. I guess to Nori's point, obviously, he wants people to come on his show for selfish reasons, but I also feel like there's a bit of
makes sense.
There's a bit of like stop. We have to stop looking at them as the goal.
Right.
We have to stop looking at
that I agree with
as the goal. Right. We could be our own goal. You know what I mean? We don't gotta have to get the stamp of approval from them because they're always gonna shit on us, right? They're gonna love us one day, and then a school gets shot up, and then they throw rap under the table all over again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Music for it.
Right. And so that might be an Angie Martinez interview. You know what I mean? That
Angie, you do Angie. You do the Power 105 YouTube channel. Right. That's gonna go crazy.
That would work out.
Angie used to be the state. Angie was hip hop Oprah for a second.
Yeah, for a while.
Release that Tupac interview, Angie. It's been 30 years.
That might be something. That might be something to listen to.
Maybe she waiting exactly for the 30th
She
year.
said she was going to release her book 10 years ago.
It's all about timing, bro. At the moment where Angie feels like she don't have any kind of grasp anymore, that Tupac interview is gonna come out.
That shit is an NFT now.
New York hip hop. Damn, bro. Damn.
Wow, bro. That's crazy, bro.
NFT.
Shout out to Angie.
New York hip hop got a shot in the arm with the release of this new project from the Lobby Boys, Jim Jones and Mano. I have a friend who I work with who to me is the Black Sincere. He's a rap snob. I had literally, he doesn't know this. He'll listen to this episode and realize it now, that I had the same argument about trap music with Sincere. I had it with him at work.
What did he think about the Kendrick album?
I never tapped in with him. That's the one conversation I want to have in person. I don't want to text it. I don't want to talk. I want to see him at work and really sit down with him. He scoffs at you. He hates it. He is you, bro. The only difference between you and him is you guys are like Spy versus Spy. He loves Hov. You love Nas.
All right.
But everything else, y'all say the same exact. And he's a producer. Y'all are the same person, bro.
Link us up, bro.
I've been trying to get him on a pod, but he fronting. But he texted me and said, "Yo, Lobby Boys album is fire." And if Sin would have sent me that in the same vein, then I might rush that. But because he said, "Oh, let me tap into this album. This album's kind of fire." I'm not saying that they're gonna revitalize anything because I'm of the belief that New York never left.
Right.
New York just resonates in different sounds and different artists from different regions. All your favorite rappers, all the nicest rappers in the game today rhyme like they're from New York. That is a fact. Argue with your fucking pet dog. Don't argue with me. How do we feel about, no rated, but how do we feel about the potential of Mano and Jim Jones and this Lobby Boys movement, Dini?
So I was able to give it a spin on the way here, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Right?
This album is Brooklyn basement bashment, 200 degrees, smelling like weed and Henny, Black and Miles, party, everyone lit sweating, but everyone dancing, have a good time, bro. This shit is a vibey album. The sampling gave me such nostalgia. The Hov samples, I thought they did really good with that. The Rough Rider sample where they took the down south, the y'all niggas bust your guns.
Yeah,
they flipped that and did something crazy with that.
That's
shit was
Jim
vibey.
Jones' pocket too. Jim Jones loves the vibe, bro.
Mano showed up,
but
though.
Mano been nice for years. I don't know why Mano is not a bigger artist.
Don't overtake the. Did you not feel his trying to channel a little Hovey? Did you feel it?
I'm not saying nothing because they don't trust me, so I can't say yes or no.
I trust you. You know what I'm saying? Did you listen? You listened to it, right?
Yo,
you didn't feel the little edges of Hov through his delivery.
I heard Mano hitting his zenith.
In his delivery.
That too. It's a lot. For years, there's been a lot of Pac in Mano.
That's probably his role model. Yeah. But I felt a lot of the way he was giving the verses. He sounded so clear, so crisp. It was a different Mano. And I was like, this is something I could spin back and listen to.
Not to say that.
Kendrick Lamar. Proceed.
Not to say that Jim Jones is his all-world rapper, but Mano understood that Jim Jones is right now as an artist. He's at his peak. He can't half-ass to stand next to Jim. Who would have thought Jim would be the nigga to out-rap you? Jim out-rap Mano if he half-asses.
To say what you said about Fat Joe, if you was to say who's coming out of the 2000s.
Yeah.
If we was to say who's coming out of Dipset, we want to listen to them in 2022. If you told me that was Jimmy 10 years ago, I would have been like, I would have been listening to Freaky before we listened to Jimmy.
I thought Jewels would have been a GOAT by now, bro.
Jewels and Lloyd Banks was the
Killer's already cemented though, so
Yo, listen, y'all. This album is dope.
It's lit.
And I'm not even gonna lie,
New
man.
York bias too.
I have my bias.
On the way.
He mentioned it. I have my biases. I came of age in the post J Nas era. I came of age in the era of New York rappers that basically gave up New York the game to Atlanta. You know what I mean? Those the Manos, the Uncle Murders, the Papooses, the Saigons. It's endless. The Graphs. It's endless.
The disappointments. Guys who were supposed to carry the baton who didn't live up to it.
Right. But since I grew up on these guys, I actually like all of those guys. So you know what I mean? I realized that they gave it up, but so I'm biased with that. But this album is dope. Like, you know, Jim Jones is very good at crafting albums.
Yes.
Mano is great in a secondary role. I've watched Mano his whole career. He can't really carry an album, but him in this pseudo Ghostface role in this album is excellent. Now, I can judge it in two ways.
He's Clay?
He's the Clay. He's the Clay on the scene. And so I can judge this album in two ways. This is a perfect summer New York album. This is perfect if you grew up anytime from Hove, Nas, Beans, them days to you know, right before the vibey shit started popping. You're gonna love this album. I know all my uncles and all my older cousins is gonna be blasting this shit all day. Now, very formulaic. Almost a classic sample on every song. No matter who's on the hook, they sound like Tory Lanez.
Oh God,
you know what I mean?
They did. Oh God,
the subject matter is exactly what you think it was. So they're not pushing any boundaries on this album. But when you just talk about dope music that you can ride to, that you can rock to, not like, you know, some fluff, because they talking they shit on here. You know what I mean? Jim is at his best. Mano is very underrated. So, you know, I appreciated it. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really like this album, y'all. And they kind of gassed it for a minute. We saw mad previews. We saw plenty of snippets. I was starting to be like, is this shit even dropping, bro? But I really appreciated the album. Great 2000s era mixtape fare. This is the album I could tell Jim Jones and Mano wanted to make back in the day. You know what I mean? With they Hove samples and they pop samples. So I appreciated it a lot. Shouts to the Lobby Boys, man.
They went into that studio and said, let's make something that the people gonna enjoy.
Right.
And they did the assignment.
I'm waiting to hear what Sin got to say.
I'm gonna have to take the L on this, man. I didn't get to tap in. I was super busy today at my day job. So yeah, I have no take on this. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm definitely gonna tap in though.
Fuck with it, Sin.
We'll be on YouTube later. We're gonna ask Sin again.
Believe that.
Yeah.
Because I need to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
He's important to how good this album may or may not be. Even if I disagree with all his Kendrick takes, everything else I kind of.
I'm not canceled for my Kendrick take.
Nah,
we just don't trust you when it comes to Kendrick. That's all. We don't trust you. Yo, we've reached the point of the episode where, you know, the mailbag.
Yes.
We put out a lot of content between 46 and now. You know, matter of fact, let me refrain. We put out content, but we've gotten a lot of comments on the content. I think the J. Cole video we did, J. Cole versus Kendrick. Had 383 comments.
Heavy.
By
itself. Some podcasts out here, they juicing their numbers. The likes ain't adding up to the views. The comments ain't adding up to the likes. Everything we do is organic, y'all.
We interact with the public, y'all.
We're cheap as fuck. We ain't doing shit. We gonna put it out, and we invite you to agree with us, curse us out, disagree, and with the content we put out since 46, it's been a lot of comments, and we got an Instagram DM send, we got an email and YouTube comments.
Oh, damn!
And it's all in this mailbag. So let me prepare myself here. I got the mailbag joint.
Let's work.
So, from episode 46, Willmatic, I guess he's a Nas fan, Willmatic TV, talking about our opening segment from the last episode with Kendrick and everything, and one of the many Kendrick arguments we've had since his album dropped. He says this album is amazing. He should have just named it Kendrick. He could have easily came back and gave us bars over some Dr. Dre beats and served us our fix, so to speak. He stepped off the pedestal and gave us a mirror for us to look at ourselves while venting about what he sees when he looks in the mirror, and didn't even know much about. I didn't know how much I needed this album.
Facts.
It's a grower for sure. Pause. First listen, I almost want to say I was let down because of my own selfish expectations and I believe that's the same for most people going into this album. Top 3 songs, Savior, Die Hard, Mr. Morale. Oh yeah, and the sequencing of this album is key as well. Production was sharp, mixing was sharp. Really, really pleased with this album. And low-key, I feel like he got another control in the tug for when they try to talk crazy. Sincere? Did you type this? Is this you?
Shouts to Willmatic.
We found a burner.
Yo, shouts to Willmatic, man. I couldn't agree with you more, bro. Yo, you talking to the choir right now. You preaching to the choir. You got to talk to these 3 brothers right here.
Shout out to you, Willmatic.
So they can see the light.
I'm not mad at this comment because, like I said, when we did the reaction, the first words I said was, this is going to be an album that splits or fractures the culture. And it's been fracturing the rap roundtable. It's been fracturing the culture. Either you love it or you like it or you hate it.
I'm flip-flopping.
He's bouncing back and forth between the fracture.
Next week I might come back and call it a classic. Y'all don't know. Y'all need to tune in though and check it out.
Iron Myers, because I said I would lean into the positive. Iron, who's been on our head a couple of times on his pod, he says from 46, I'm always for the snuck-in Nas and Jay talk. 2 ghosts that deserves to be spoken about. Great show. Thank you, Iron. I just wanted to show you that. When you show love,
we appreciate you, good brother.
My guy.
Talk about it. So now, Moses Newsom wrote a DM on Instagram, right?
Right.
Sin, I want you to look at how long this DM is. I'm not reading all of this.
Nah, I already seen you scroll through it.
Bro, look at this shit.
That man is scrolling like 3 times on his phone.
Good Lord.
I'm going to read the first part of it because I promised him I would because he took his time out to fucking write this shit. He says, I'm a fan of the Rap Roundtable show first and foremost. Shout out to you, Moses.
Shout.
A fan of hip-hop. I'm subscribed to your pod as well. But I understand the point that was made in terms of flop compared to the success of the last album. But where I question this is his last album had more of a commercial appeal and did 600K first week, to Sin's point. I enjoyed Damn, but after I stopped listening to Damn, I stopped listening to Damn after a week or 2, to Sin's point. Mr. Morale wasn't intended to be a commercial album, but I found myself playing this album over and over, learning something new each time. Did you write this one, nigga?
Oh, you know what? These comments and messages are very interesting, considering that y'all was trying to tell me that nobody was fucking with this album at the beginning of this episode.
He said the large majority,
but
65%. Thank you. Young Thug said his artists low-key dumbed down his talents just to sell records. Name one artist who can switch lanes like K-Dot did and still pull off 285K in his first week. No one. All these rappers nowadays are ice cream rappers and don't have the heart or skill of a K-Dot, and they scratching 20K in their first week sales on top of the fact that they trying to be commercial like everyone else. I like watching your pod because I feel like you rep real hip-hop, and that's why I was shocked. Wait, he said, that's why I was shocked about the response to this album. It's so long I had to keep scrolling. It's very difficult to pull off an album with no commercial feel and still land number 1 on the charts. To me, for those reasons, it wasn't a statistical flop or a critical flop. For God's sake, he did a track with Ghostface Killer. That was gangster. Many times in the album, he switches cadence 3 or 4 times while the beat is still changing abruptly, all while spitting a message that burns your insides. Pause. That's a lyrical genius. I would love to join your podcast, and I love the insight. I have insight to offer. Either way, I enjoy the pod, and it's thoroughly entertaining. Shout out to you, Moses.
Shout out to Moses, bro.
Appreciate you. Deanie,
spending a lot of facts.
I read a lot. What are your thoughts on Moses' thoughts on this album and his feel and Kendrick's performance? Again, it's not word salad. You niggas who said it was word salad, Coop. The people are speaking. Expert rap. Go ahead, Deanie.
What's that Stephen A. meme? We don't care. That's just really how I feel, bro. Like, I know what I'm listening to, bro. I dig it. I dig it. I got my shovel, but y'all can keep that shit over there, bro. I'll take my 11 out of the fucking 19.
Deanie standing on the square, y'all.
Nigga. Heavy.
From the Kendrick Lamar versus J. Cole, who's better right now? We had a lot of fun on that episode.
Yeah, heavy. Beautiful.
Iceberg the Gamer says, J. Cole is a great lyricist. His discography isn't good enough to fuck with Kendrick. Kendrick is making essential hip-hop pieces. Kendrick arguably has one classic with FHD. What's that? Forest Hill Drive, yeah. Kendrick's music is much more along the lines of art versus Cole's dope hip-hop albums. Kendrick music transcends hip-hop. Dean, I mean, Mace, I know you agree.
Shout to Iceberg. I agree with you, man. Like Cole, while dope, Cole is that more conventional dope rapper that you rock with. You know what I mean? Kendrick is avant-garde, like high level, like challenge your mind rap. Like J. Cole, you know, shouts to him. You know, he made our power rankings. He done got our MVP, so we show love to him. But I gotta agree with Iceberg, man. Kendrick all the way.
All right, I'm not mad at that. You get a ding. From the Jay-Z fill Biggie Smalls and Tupac's shoes, we have David Lyf or David LYF. He says, honestly, he has done more than both. Speaking about Jay-Z, we love Biggie and Pac, but unfortunately, their early demise took away from their chance to compete with Hov. Hov has to fill their shoes because he surpassed them both. Sincere, you say what?
So when I first came into this conversation, I was definitely more on the side where I did not agree with what Puff said, because I was looking at it from a musical standpoint, right? So while maybe musically he kind of like continued. He continued the line of Big, but not necessarily Pac. But after having the conversation, yeah, I could see how culturally, if we're talking about like being the face of the culture, right? Big and Pac were like these two, like it was
Titans.
almost like two titans. It was almost like hip hop was like a two-headed monster, right? And then but they were both taken out, so it was like when Jay came in, and fast forward 20 years, he's kind of like the face of the culture, kind of like serving the ambassador of the culture. I could see it. I could see it.
So your point remains, but you could understand if someone disagrees.
I could understand the different perspective from a different,
point of view.
Yes.
Fair play. Last but not least, we have an email. I posted on Instagram that whole thing about Jack Harlow. Ooh, almost had a stroke. Quando Harlow being a culture vulture. We have Teddy D from the White Knot podcast. He says, "What's up, gentlemen? I wanted to add my 2 cents about Jack Harlow. The dude is young, and I had to remind myself of that. I'm 39, and the last Brandy song I can remember is from 2002. That's Shade, the Full Moon album. She's a legend, no doubt, but she hasn't been relevant since then. I'm not the biggest Harlow fan, but truth be told, him not knowing about Brandy shouldn't be why. He would have been 4 years old listening to Brandy. Love the show. Y'all are my go-to music pod. Shout out to you, Teddy. We try to be that.
Shout out to you, but get Quando Harlow the fuck out of here.
Oh, my
Still in
God.
all. I understand all that.
Guy.
Get him out of here. Shouts to Lil Boss.
Now, being that is the last one, what do you have to say about Teddy's email?
I halfway agree, but I'm like, that's major. That's a major thing in hip hop, Mo. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Quando, you got it. Maze.
Teddy, take off the cape for that white man, respectfully.
I agree with the panel, y'all.
Who is this guy? Where'd he come from? And why do we fucking keep acting like he's somebody that we need to fuck with? Get rid of this guy.
And y'all didn't hear it from me, but that album was ass.
Well, I did hear from you because I didn't listen to that shit.
Listen, man.
We're still uptown.
Yes, sir.
This time we arguing. We knocked some plant pots over. There's some roses and soil on the concrete. But now we're drinking. We're friends again. But I think he might kick us off the lawn. I don't know. But we reached the point of the episode where we need to get off Sincere's lawn.
All right. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. You know what I mean? Running out of time here. But honestly, there's a lot of heavy stuff going on these days that I could have addressed. But I'm going to keep it light. You know what I mean? I don't want to, get into like, super heavy stuff. Something that's really getting under my skin. People on social media, if you have a habit of saying, wow, that album really came and went.
Oh,
bro,
you have to get off my lawn, bro. I cannot tell you, I'm getting mad all over again. I cannot tell you how sick I am of seeing this on social media, and especially on Twitter, because it's like you think you're doing something. You think you're saying something that's clever or observant. All you're doing is describing the internet. Everything on the internet comes and goes within a week. If the album is fire, it comes, the conversations, the chatter comes and goes in a week, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks out. If the album is trash, the trashing of the album will come and go in a week. Everything comes and goes on the internet.
Thanks.
You're not being clever. You're not being observant, right? This is not some special insight that you have, like, oh my God, like this album, they said it was fire, but now nobody's talking about it anymore. That's literally the internet, bro. Week by week, we're on to something else, something new. We might still be listening to the album. We might still be bumping it. It still might make album of the year or be in the top 5 at the end of the year. Just because we're not talking about it on social media doesn't mean it doesn't exist, yo. So if you say dumb shit like that, get the fuck off my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 47 of the Rap Roundtable. Another fun time. I was excited coming in. This episode delivered. Dini, take us home, bro.
Yo, you know what time it is? It's that good time when we get up out of here, y'all. Shout out to the homie Josh. Looking real clean today, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good duds.
Back in the Staples Center.
Shout out to Macito.
It was a goodie.
Giving us that young rapper news, keeping us on our toes.
Appreciate it.
Shout out to Sincere. You hit a beat that's in the background. Rappers tap in. I can't say it enough. My man is too nice for y'all niggas not to get on these good beats.
Listen. Buy this fucking beat.
Get on these fucking beats,
Fact.
Jov.
Hit us up.
My guy, you keep me in line, good brother. I appreciate you all day, every day.
My guy.
Giants hat, Mets hat. I am Didi, the balance of the force. We at the Rap Roundtable. You know where to find us, everywhere, and your mother's house. Good night. We out.
Sir, the heroes you need.